Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Children's Worship. Have you seen anything beautiful today? Well, there's nothing any more beautiful than Steve right there. Look at him. Hey, and you got me, Michael. And guess what? Hey, did everybody come? I got my book. We're in the new books this time. That's right. We're in
a new month, too.
That's right. September. It's a happy month.
It is a happy month.
It is.
A few more days, I'll be a little bit older.
Oh dear. It's closer to Santa Claus too.
It is?
Yes, it is.
Christmas list time.
That's right.
Dear Santa.
TV.
New.
Video game.
Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
PS17.
Rice Krispie treats.
Oh, Crispy Treats. Over here.
Yeah. You gotta make them out. It's getting close. But hey, you know what? We're in a new book. We're in a new month. That gives us a new unit verse. It comes from Deuteronomy 30:20.
19 and 20.
Oh, I'm sorry, 19 and 20.
That's right. I'm here to help you.
I see it. It is. It comes from 19 and 20. Choose life that thou mayest love it, the Lord thy God, and that they mayest obey his voice, and that they mayest cleave unto him. Wow, that was hard. That's Deuteronomy 30, verses 19 and 20. That's our unit verse. We're going to be saying that over and over and over. So learn them hard words in there, okay?
And over and over and over.
But we have a weekly Bible verse. It comes from Romans 14:12. It is, so then, each of us will give an account of himself to God. Now the word himself in that verse, it doesn't mean a guy. It means everybody. Each individual person. Himself. Your life. You're going to give an account of your life to God. So that's Romans 14:12. So study up on it. If you don't know the meaning of it, talk to somebody about it. Leave a comment. We'll call you. So guess what? We're talking about Joshua and Caleb. Yep, talking about Joshua and Caleb. They hung out with an old guy named Moses. Remember the burning bush and all that? That was Moses. So these two guys, they were hanging out with Moses for a long, long time.
Long time.
So we're going to learn tonight about it, and Steve's going to read our story to us.
Before the Israelites people moved into Canaan, God told Moses to send 12 men to scout out the land. Moses said to the men, "Find out what the land is like, bring back some fruit. Are the people strong or are they weak? Is the land good or is it bad? Are the cities surrounded by walls?" The scouts were gone for 40 days. When they returned, they brought back pomegranates, figs, and a cluster of grapes. So big that 2 men had to carry it on a pole. It's a lot of grapes. The land is good, the scouts reported, but we also saw well-guarded cities full of many people. We can't attack the people because they are stronger than we are. We are like grasshoppers next to them. The people cried and complained, "Why is the Lord bringing us into the land to die? It would be better to go back to Egypt or die here in the wilderness." 2 of the scouts, Caleb and Joshua, told the people, "If God is pleased with us, he will bring us into this land. The Lord is with us. Don't be afraid." The people believed the other men and threatened to throw stones at Caleb and Joshua. God told Moses that none of the adults who disobeyed him, except Caleb and Joshua, would enter the land he promised. The disobedient people would live in the wilderness and the adults would die there. Their children would grow up and be shepherds. After 40 years, Caleb and Joshua and those remained would enter that land. Moses told the people what God said, and they were overcome with sadness. We were wrong, they decided. Let's go into the land God promised us. Moses warned them not to go, but the people dared to enter the country anyway. When they did, the Canaanites attacked and chased them away.
Wow, you know, Joshua and Caleb, they were working off peer pressure. And it tells us a little story about Martha and her teacher. She was in school, and her teacher had an optical illusion. One of those little things you look at and you say, what do you see, and all that. Well, Martha's teachers went around to each person, and they would tell it was a bird in the bush. Well, the teacher told some people to add another word, "the," in there. So it started going on, and people were saying, I saw a bird in the bush. But Martha was listening, and she kind of raised her hands. She go, teacher, that's wrong. They're saying it wrong. Our teacher wasn't expecting that, because Martha didn't go along with peer pressure. She corrected it and made it right. So, you know, Canaan and Joshua, it may be easy to side with them today, but we do not have 10 strong leaders in a whole community. That's 1 million or more people chiming in with crying, weeping, complaining, and requests to return to slavery. That's what everybody else wanted to do. You know, all the people that was with them, you know, they had Moses, Joshua, and Caleb. They all three wanted to follow God. But the rest of the people, when it says 1 million or more,
that's a lot of the people.
That is a lot of the people, yes. They didn't want to do it. They didn't want to follow God. They said it'd be better if we just die here in the wilderness. Be better if we go back to where we came from and be slaves for the rest of our life. They fell for peer pressure. One person said it, and then the multitude just followed right on behind them, and that's what they decided. But what did God say? God told Moses, said, look, if the people don't want to follow me, if they don't want to listen to me, only you, Joshua, and Caleb will only go in this land. And you remember what the land returned? It returned pomegranates, figs, and grapes so big that 2 men had to carry them.
That's crazy. You can't even get that over at the WM.
You can't. Have you ever been to the Piggly Wiggly up here and look for grapes? They small compared to them big ones. You know, that was the land they wanted to go to. God promised them that they would live in this land, that they would be looked after, taken care of. And by that, those snacks and fruits right there, they were going to have some good victuals. They were going to eat good. But the people that were with them, they didn't believe them. You know, they didn't want to. They just wanted to stay out and die and go back to Egypt to be slave. And God said, you know, you got it. You wish for it. Here it is. You're going to remain. The adults are going to stay in the wilderness and die. But if you have kids, they're going to grow up and be shepherds. What? You know what shepherds did? They tended the livestock way out. Wherever there was grass and water for them to eat, that's where they stopped. Well, 100 miles away may be the next little grass spot. So it was a 100-mile walk, and that's where they stayed. They didn't live in the city and go to work every night or every day. They had to stay somewhere with their animals. So the adults' kids grew up to be shepherds. They didn't make it into the promised land. But they lived there for 40 years.
That's almost as old as I am.
I am that old.
I'm past that old.
Yeah, I am. So I know what 40 years is. Well, give or take when I was a little baby. I don't remember that. I don't remember those years. But 40 years is a long time. Joshua, Caleb, Moses, they all held steadfast in God. They believed Him, you know. But the other people, they're like, we're wrong. We're ready to go. Let us in the city. So what they do? They just took off marching to the city. God said, you're not going to get in. So those big, strong people that made them look like grasshoppers, what they do? They ran them off. They said, you're not coming to our city. They showed their swords. They showed their spears. And the other people had to turn and run away. But Joshua, Caleb, and Moses, they went into the promised land and they lived there. They ate good. They had them pomegranates. I've eaten one. That's got a whole bunch of seeds in it.
It does.
Yeah, they taste good.
They had a bunch of grapes too.
Had a bunch of grapes too, yeah. I don't know about figs. I like fig Newtons, yeah.
Fig Newtons are good.
Yeah, there's a bunch of sugar in there.
That's all right.
You know. So,
Diabetes in a bag.
that's it, diabetes in the bag. So, you know, what we learned from the story and all that, God deserves respect, obedience, and honor. He's pleased when we do right. He's displeased when we do wrong. Well, that sounds like a mom and dad, doesn't it? You know, you're doing right. Your mom and dad's happy. But when you do wrong, what do? They have to punish you. You know, it tears them up inside to punish you, but they have to. They have to teach you right and wrong.
Give me that PlayStation.
See, arguing now. I think we covered that last week, didn't we? So, but you know, God deserves our respect, our obedience, and our honor, just like our mom and dads. So you know what time it is. It is game time.
Game time!
That's right, game time. These questions are a little bit hard. I'm going to have to tell you, it's a little bit hard. So
I studied, so I got some answers.
Did you?
Yeah, I got the answers.
He's got the answers. He's going to beat everybody. Question number 1. What did Moses tell the scouts to find out from the land of Canaan?
Where the closest Chick-fil-A was.
That's what I was going to say too. Chick-fil-A, Burger King, McDonald's. Yeah, you got to get all three of them. Are they on the same block? Are they miles apart or what?
They didn't have Google Maps back then.
They didn't have Google Maps. They didn't have Hey Siri.
She didn't come on.
She didn't come on. Look at that. No, he wanted what the land, the people, and the cities were like. Was it good land? Well, they brought back fruit and all that. Did they have cities? Yeah, the cities had a bunch of walls up. And what about the people? They said the strong, tall, big men made the Israelites, you know, all them look like grasshoppers. So they had to go back and tell them. What did the men bring back with them? Oh, what did the men bring back with them?
PlayStation.
They might have, but they had nowhere to plug it in. It's like, roughing it. They were roughing it.
No electrical outlets, huh?
No electrical outlets. They didn't have a turn crank either. So, no, they brought pomegranates, figs, and grapes. You remember 2 people had to carry the grapes. They were so big. How did some of the scouts compare themselves to the Canaanite people? How did they compare themselves to the Canaanite people? I think they might have said, we ain't got the right shoes. They got Nikes, we got New Balance.
I think they had memberships at Planet Fitness.
Memberships at Planet Fitness. You know what that does? That makes you strong. So yeah, they compared themselves. They said those were strong people down there. And we're just like grasshoppers. Have you ever caught a grasshopper? They fit right here and the small one's in the palm of your hand. Wow, you know, big, heavy, strong men. And they were saying they were little bitty grasshoppers. That wasn't much of a matchup, was it? What did Caleb and Joshua tell the people? You know, people were griping, complaining, crying, whining. What did Caleb and Joshua tell them? Do you remember?
Don't be scared.
Hey, that's right. Don't be scared. If God is pleased with them, He would bring them into the land and be with them. Don't be afraid. He told the people, have faith. Steadfast in your relationship with God. He's going to get us into that land. We're not going to be hurt. We're just going to walk right on in. We're going to live a happy life. We're going to have food. We're going to have victuals. We're going to have bedding. We're going to have everything that we want. You've just got to keep hope and faith in God. What consequences did God announce to Moses? You remember God told Moses something about the people and all that? What were those consequences that God told Moses?
Something about 40 years.
40 years. I was going to say no fast food for them.
Yeah, no drive-through.
No drive-throughs.
No walk-in.
Yeah.
Wear your mask.
Yeah, wear your mask. Everything shut down for a little bit. No, it said the people would live in the wilderness for 40 years. The adults would not enter the promised land. And you remember, the adults would die in the wilderness. What would their kids grow up to be? Shepherds, which live in the wilderness and travel along with the animals and all that. They wouldn't get to go in the promised land either. What did the people try to do when they decided they were wrong? You know, you think back, oh, I'm messed up. I've messed up big time. Let me rectify this. Let me make it correct. So what did the people do?
They entered without God's permission.
They did. They did. They tried to enter Canaan without God's permission. You know, God had just, in the question above that, God had said, you're not going in. You're going to live out here in the wilderness. So what did they do? They kind of took off full speed running, I would think, to try to get into the promised land. Somebody wanted a pomegranate real bad. So they took off. Well, it didn't work out for them. God had said, you're not going in. So the Canaanites, they were attacked and they were chased away. You know, these people were strong, had swords, had spears. So it was very simple. They just chased them away. So they had to go back out into the wilderness and live. So, well, y'all did good on those questions, you know. Those were kind of tough questions.
And some big words like grasshopper.
Big words. Yeah, big words. So remember, you got big words in the universe, so you need to look it up. It's Deuteronomy chapter 30, verses 19 and 20. Repeat it, say it, so you learn them, so you'll understand it.
Deuteronomy 30, 19, 20. Deuteronomy 30, 19, 20. Deuteronomy 30, 20.
We got it. You got it, we got it. So until next week, I'm going to say bye to you.
Bye.